Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video we have one of the largest unboxings we've ever done. This one is large in terms of the amount of aircraft we have. I have one coming very soon which will be large in terms of the actual aircraft I'm receiving. But this one is large with the amount of aircraft that I'm getting. As you can see, we currently have 5 boxes filled with multiple aircraft each, and I cannot wait to unbox all of these. One disclaimer I do have is that you've probably actually seen a review of some of these already. Some of these will be my 747-8Fs. Last week, from when you're seeing this, I should have done a review on the interactive series of the 747-8 from Gemini Jets. And some of these, not all of them, but I think some of these will be in this kind of arrangement here, but I'm not sure exactly where. Another thing that you're probably seeing in this shot is this. Now I did unbox this a couple weeks ago from when you're seeing this, and I just did want to, because of course this isn't actually going to get much camera time on the channel at all, so I wanted to bring this in to this shot just to A, make this shot look quite nice, and also B, I just want to reflect on how amazing this model is. I don't think I said enough about this model in my unboxing. Now I've had it for a couple days now, and it is honestly insane. I'm a massive fan of Gemini 200s, and this one in particular, the 727 in this livery, it looks incredible. And also I'd never actually got it onto the stand in that unboxing, so now you can see it on its stand, but it's honestly just one of the best models of my collection now. But I'm going to take this off to the side and unbox some of these boxes. Now I'm not entirely sure which ones are going to be which, but I'm taking on a hunch. I think that these 3 here are going to be my 747-8s, and then I believe that these 2 are going to be other models, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think I'm going to get, as you've already seen them, I think I'm going to get the 747s out the way with first. We have these 3 boxes, of course. Again, I don't think these are going to be all of the 747s. I did order 4 or 5, I forget at this time, but I can't really remember. And on these 747s, I'm not going to go into huge detail on the models, just because I have had a video that is fully dedicated to these models. Again, this might not even be a 747. I'm not exactly sure where the models are around these boxes, but I'm just assuming that's kind of like a 747 sized box. So there we go. And opening it up, it is from AMS. I did order 1 of these 747s from AMS. These are quite rare, so a lot of them I had to buy from eBay. But the Polar 747-8 I did get from AMS. And this is not the 747s. Okay, I'm going to come back to this because that's not the 747s. But we'll get to them later. I'm just going to open the 747s first. Now these 2, these are both from eBay. I can tell because they're not AMS boxes. So I believe these are going to be the 747s. I'm pretty much 99% sure because I can't remember. I don't think I've ordered anything else from eBay over the past few weeks, so I believe these are going to be the 747s. And I don't want to dig in too much so that it damages the models, but okay. And opening the box now, we have it packaged with like writing paper. That's a first. But in here we have, yes, here we go. Okay, so this is the first 747 we have. We have the Cargo Lux Interactive Series 747-8. Then in this second box we have the, okay, and we have the Airbridge Cargo 747-8 from the interactive series. This is from modelcorner.co.uk. Again, I got it from eBay, but I guess they have an eBay store. But this is where I got the Airbridge Cargo 747-8. And so I have these 2. I also have the Atlas Air 747, the Polar Air 747, and I think that's it. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. I can't even remember if there's 4 or 5. But I know there's the Cargo Lux, the Airbridge Cargo, the Polar Air, the Atlas Air. I know I ordered all of them, so if there is a 5th one, then I'm just forgetting it. But yeah, I guess, you know what, I'm just going to open these now. So of course these are the interactive series. If you don't know, that means that the front of the aircraft and the cargo doors on the side, they do indeed open. And you can see we've got various other parts as well, so they all kind of interchange and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Again, I've wanted to get these for a while, and I wanted all of them. Maybe I can use these in some kind of Baltimore update, but the main thing is I just wanted to add them to my collection because they do look pretty cool. I had my speculations about these. But again, I won't go into full review on these models in this video, just because I've actually made a fully dedicated video to these models. I'm recording this video before I'm actually recording that one, but of course that one will come out first. So I've already made a full video on these, so you can check that out if you want to. I'll leave it at the I'll leave it linked at the end. But opening the model up now. Okay, so we have the airbridge cargo, and we've got multiple pieces, as I said. Okay, and taking the model out of the box now. Rolling landing gear, that's very, very nice. And of course the front comes off, and then you can interchange it with this piece like that. I think that goes in, that will go in there or something, but again, I'm going to leave this off to the side, and again, I'm going to do a full review on these later on, but I just wanted to kind of get it out of the box in this video, kind of experience it for the first time, and then again, I'll go into full review on this model later on. I just kind of wanted to check if they are actually in all good condition. I'm just checking the cargo lux briefly here. We can take this out of the box. I would love for Gemini Jets to make one of these aircraft in the new mask livery as well. That would be very, very cool. Because this is the Cargo Lux 747-8, and if you don't know, Cargo Lux have actually come out with a new livery that promotes mask wearing. It's basically this aircraft, and it just has like a mask around the front of it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, and as usual, I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to review that later on. And then moving on to the box that we opened, I realized it wasn't actually the 747. Now in this box we have two of the brand new Gemini Jets United Boeing 767-300s. Of course, United being one of the main airlines at Dallas, the only main airline at Dallas. We have two of these 767s. Of course, these 767s are going to be slowly retired from now. I probably would have gotten three if that wasn't the case, but of course the 767 does make a very bold appearance at Washington Dallas. I've actually flown the 767-300 twice from Dallas down to Sao Paulo, and then back up from Sao Paulo to Washington Dallas. And they operate domestically as well. You'll see them operating, I believe they operated to Houston and various other, you know, United hubs and coast to coast kind of hubs, various things like that. And of course Europe as well. Europe was a big kind of thing for the 767, especially before the pandemic. I don't think I've seen a 767 operate internationally from Dallas since the pandemic started, but still, these are very, very nice aircraft, and I can't wait to see what the model is like. And so putting these two models off to the side, we can move on to one of these boxes. We're going to start with the smaller one, I think. Again, I'm not sure, because I've got so many models on order, I'm not sure which models are going to be in these two, but these are both from AMS, so it's going to be interesting to say the least. Again, one of the reasons why I love doing these unboxings where I don't show you in the title or in the thumbnail what the models are is because you get to experience this with me. I have no idea what's in this box, and neither do you. So this is going to be pretty interesting. We're experiencing this together, and as we force open the box now, we can take out the model, and it is the... Oh yes, okay, this is one I've been waiting for a while now. This is the Phoenix ANA Boeing 777-300ER. Of course, for the longest time, I've had my ANA 777-200, and of course, that's not really realistic to Washington Dallas. Washington Dallas does receive, not currently because of the pandemic, but pre-pandemic, Washington Dallas does receive the ANA Boeing 777-300ER to Washington Dallas. So this is going to be a very nice improvement from my 777-200. Plus, my 777-200 is in the 2020 livery, so that kind of comes out of date after this year is over. So of course, I have this to kind of upgrade my ANA routes, and of course when we start doing Washington Dallas updates again, this and as well these United 767s, we're going to have a lot of new aircraft in the Washington Dallas updates. But finally, before we get onto these in detail, we're going to open up the final box. Again, I don't know what's in here, so I think this might actually be another 747. Yes, it is. It's hard to judge because, of course, these boxes are so big, and yet the aircraft that's in here isn't actually that big. But in here we have the third 747-8. Yeah, I'm probably not even going to get this out of the box, but here we have the Polar 747-8 in the interactive series from Gemini Jets. And so starting with the United 767, I'm going to take these out of the box. Of course we have two of them, so there's double the chance of them coming broken, but Gemini jets typically don't mess up the 767 mold, and I can reassure you that this one is perfect. I'm going to put that off to the side now and then open up the second one to check that they're both not in any bad conditions at all. I'm going to put this one off to the side now, open the second one and just check that they're not broken. And moving on to this model now, we can open up this one, and just like the last one, it seems like it is perfectly fine. Again, this has that greasy kind of texture. If you don't know, I unboxed my Lufthansa 747-8 and commented upon like it has a greasy kind of texture to it. It almost feels like wet, and I had a lot of you guys saying that you kind of resonated with that, and you have a lot of models that do arrive like this. I'm not sure whether it's kind of like a polish or something, or a protective layer, but it doesn't feel very nice. It doesn't feel like this model should feel like this. But apart from that, both of those models seem in very, very good condition. Okay, and I also wanted to bring in my older United 767-300. I did also have a second one of these, the older version. This one is the 2018 version. I also had the 2013 version, however that was broken, and somebody offered to buy it off of me, so I sold it to them for very cheap, of course, because it was broken. But yeah, I just want to compare the kind of, if there's been any differences between 2018 and 2020. Honestly, just from the get-go, I just want to say, if any of you from Gemini Jets are watching, this is perfect. You do not need to change this mold one bit. The engines are the correct size. There are like tiny things that could be picked up on, but honestly, just leave it. It's probably one of the Gemini Jets molds that just doesn't have any major flaws to it. Of course, with different liveries and different airlines, you are going to have color issues, potentially, of course. I don't see any color issues with this one. The blue does look like the correct blue. There doesn't seem to be any differences between the old and the new. I do want to compare the winglets. Okay, so they are actually the same size of winglet. I have heard some people say that they think this one is, the winglet on this aircraft is a bit too big. I think it's more like an illusion, because if you notice, the blue on this goes all the way down to the base of the winglet. The blue on the old livery only goes up to about 2/3 down the winglet, and then they've got that kind of like gold stripe across there. So I don't think this is actually an incorrect size of winglet. I just think it's almost like an illusion, because this one actually has blue that goes all the way down, and this one only has blue that goes part of the way down. But taking a look at this model in detail, of course we have two, but they are exactly the same registration and everything. I have checked to see if this is the same registration as any of the 767s that I flew to Sao Paulo. Sadly, they are not, but I can tell you that, honestly, the United 767, this was back in 2018 when I flew it, I was pleasantly surprised by how nice it is. Before that, I'd only flown the British Airways 767. I'd flown that from Washington Dulles to London Heathrow several times. It was always on the way back, because I think the 767 operated the second flight of the day, and I'd always fly back from Washington Dulles on the second flight of the day, and then I'd fly to Washington Dulles on the first flight of the day, which was typically a 747. And it's crazy to think that I was flying to America now when the two daily flights were on aircraft that no longer exist. The first one, the 747, the second one, the 767 for British Airways. Man, that's quite sad, to be honest. But honestly, the United 767, very nice. They were retrofitted, of course, and nice leather seats. The IFE was nice. And it was honestly a pleasant ride. This was actually my longest economy flight. 10 hours from Washington Dulles to Sao Paulo. Not my longest flight. I've actually flown from Auckland to Dubai. That wasn't in economy, but this was economy, 10 hours, and to this date that's still the longest economy flight I've ever been on, and it honestly wasn't that bad. I have some pretty fond memories of just flying over Brazil, watching the sunrise while watching Forrest Gump and having breakfast. So some fond memories on this aircraft. Of course, it wasn't this specific aircraft, but the United 767. And so starting off at the front of this aircraft now, we have the cockpit windows, of course, the classic 767 nose. The nose, of course, the mold looks perfect. The only thing, again, it's kind of got a tiny bit of the 777 problem. I think the nose gear is a tad bit long, but honestly I don't even want to mention that at this point, because this is so good compared to a lot of the other Gemini Jets aircraft that I just don't want them to change it at all. It looks very nice. And yeah, moving back, of course, we have the Star Alliance logo next to the L1 door. Then we have the actual L1 door. The United titles, of course, vastly improved from the old livery. These are in big bold letters saying United. And then we have this curvy dark blue line, of course, a lot different from the very uniform and straight old kind of livery, as you can see in the back. There, it's a lot more, I don't know, it just feels a lot better, it looks a lot nicer. And yeah, then we have the light grey on the underbelly there. The antennas as well, the antennas look very nice. And then moving on to the wing section now, you can see we have the emergency exits. I was actually sat on my way back from Sao Paulo to Washington Dulles. I was sat on this side and I was in one of the emergency exit rows. I have some pretty cool shots from the wing here. The wing looks massive when you're sat literally over the wing around here, and I have some amazing shots of the sunrise coming into Washington Dulles, because of course the Sao Paulo flight to Washington Dulles, that's the only long haul. This is the only long haul slash wide body route to South America from Washington Dulles, is this United 767 to Sao Paulo. And yeah, it's got a very weird time schedule, so both flights are night flights. Leaves from Washington Dulles in the evening, arrives at Sao Paulo in the morning, then leaves from Sao Paulo in the evening, arrives at Washington Dulles in the morning. Because the odd thing is about this flight, although it's a long haul flight, it's within the same time zone, which is odd because of course you're just going down the earth, you're not going across the earth, so you're not actually changing time. So it's a bit of a weird kind of adjustment. I've never been on a long haul flight before where you're not changing time zone, which is a very odd feeling. But yeah, moving on to the wing, of course, we have the emergency pathway there, and then down here we have the engines, the bright blue engines with the mainland gear, and then the winglets, which are again that nice blue color. Onto the bottom of the aircraft now. Again, there's nothing really to comment. We've got the Gemini Jets logo a lot smaller than previous variations, and then we have the stand hole there as well. And then finally, moving on to the rear of the aircraft, we have the registration here, which is November 676 Uniform Alpha with the American flag there. The rear door here, and then we have this blue line that kind of slopes up towards the end of the aircraft there. And then we have the amazing United tail here with the kind of like the fade between the dark blue and the lighter blue. This is probably the most tricky thing to get right on the new United livery, and I know Era Classics seems to be the only one that's messed it up properly so far. But yeah, this is a great aircraft, and I can't wait to add it to my United collection, and as well Washington Dulles when it's up and running. But I think now, as we move on to our final aircraft for this review, we have the Phoenix ANA 777-300ER. As I said, this operates flights from Washington Dulles to Tokyo. Of course, there are a few things that are being changed around. I think I've seen the 787 being operated to Dulles over the coronavirus period on ANA, I believe it was. But at this point, I'm not really sure what's sticking. Of course, this whole period is a bit of a weird one. Turkish are operating the 777-300. Emirates are operating the 777-300. Korean are starting the 787-9, and I'm not sure which ones are going to stay like that, you know, past the pandemic, or which airlines are just operating those aircraft while the pandemic is in swing. But I thought I might as well get the ANA 777-300 because it is an amazing aircraft anyway, and you know, adding it to my huge 777-300ER fleet, it's going to be pretty nice. But taking a look at the box now, of course, we have Boeing 777-300ER up the top there. We have the clip art of the aircraft there. ANA, the registration, Inspiration of Japan, which is their slogan, 1:400 scale. Then on the rear of the aircraft now, we have, is this Mount Fuji or is it Fiji? I'm not really sure. Then we have again all the other little features, and again Phoenix of course take a little more pride than Gemini Jets in their box. This one, it's not an amazing box. I mean, it has that thing of the mountain in the back, but again the actual design isn't that sophisticated, so it's not insane. But opening up the box now, we can take a look at the actual model. Okay, we have the plastic and then we have the model. First impressions are amazing. Of course, I do have a lot of the Phoenix 777-300ERs, and again, this isn't any different to the other 777-300ERs I have in my fleet. Okay, and taking a look at this aircraft now, we have the nose of the aircraft. Of course, we have the cockpit windows here with the Star Alliance logo. The forward landing gear, of course, the landing gear on the Phoenix 777s are amazing. Sometimes Phoenix can kind of mess up the landing gear a bit, but I think on the 777 they kind of do it pretty well. Then back here, of course, we have the L1 door, the little Japanese flag there with the ANA logo, inspiration of Japan there. Then their color scheme, which is this grey underbelly with the blue kind of stretching up here, and then we have a little bit of turquoise in there as well. Then here we have the L2 door with the bubble of the, I believe this is the Wi-Fi bubble up there, have some more antennas, and then moving back to the wing section, we have the engines. Here we have one of the emergency escapes here with the emergency slide going down there. We then have the wing with the Japanese dot on it, and then we have the main landing gear underneath there. Of course, the main landing gear on the Phoenix 777s do of course swivel a lot. And then taking a look at the rear of the aircraft now, we have one of the rear doors, the antennas here, more of the windows going back here. I believe this will say Boeing 777-300ER. We have some of the antennas on the bottom there as well. And then we have the Japanese flag, the rear door, the registration, which is Juliet Alpha 79, either an 8 or a 9 Alpha. And then we have the tail, which of course says ANA with the blue and then the turquoise as well. And just like that, that does conclude this unboxing of all of my aircraft. Again, if you haven't seen already, you can go and check out my review on the interactive series from Gemini Jets. I actually bought all of the 747-8s. I've got the first 3, you saw me unboxing the first 3, and then I have a few more that are on their way. And then again, you can go check out that video. It'll be linked at the end. But apart from that, I want to thank you very, very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.